animal brain. I mean, when you just said there, you're eating so many souls. You know, I mean, so not your mentality, your psychicness is just extremely toxic. I mean, you could be just it's disgusting. Like eating all of
Yeah.
those souls. Like you're not just eating, one hamburger and you think it's like one animal soul. It's like they grind up that beef. There's hundreds of animal souls in that one hamburger. So.
Well, you're like polluting your soul basically. And it's the same with alcohol, it's the same with
Hmm.
smoking, like excessive cigarettes. I don't think there's anything wrong with smoking a cigarette once in a while, having a drink. But when people do it to excess and either eating meat, smoking,
Gluttony.
they're just polluting their soul completely.
Gluttony.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're wrecking their own, they're basically I think they're wasting their life. I mean, I know everybody has a choice, but they're so uninformed, and I guess that's why we're doing these videos, because we want to inform people and make them aware, you know.
Yes, look, I would love to. I would love to warn the meat eaters. From the bottom of my heart, all scriptures condemn meat eating. It is an aberration, and no meat eater will ascend. No meat eater will
No.
ascend. They will not enter the heart. They will not enter the high heaven, the head, and activate the dormant brain cells. They will not ascend the oil. The body is acidic. It is putrid. It is foul, and none of the alchemical processes can function properly to activate the individual so that he or she will be self-realized. It is harmful to the individual. It is harmful to animals. It is harmful to the creator. It is harmful to the cosmos, and they won't go to heaven. Please
No.
don't think, anyone who's eating meat, don't think you're going to heaven or wherever you think you're going, to the better places. In Bhagavad Gita, it talks about all the beautiful higher places that we can aspire to. We can go to Vrindavan, which is at the very, very top. We can go to Vaikuntha, which is just below that. We can go to Brahmajyoti, which is the white light, where a lot of people think they're going to be, self-realized and blissed out forever. You can go to the void. You can go to the nil and all of these places. Well, you will definitely go to the void if you are a meat eater. And the void is not a place where you want to go. Neither is the white light. And meat eaters they will absolutely be condemned. They will not ascend and go to any decent place. Here is how Bhagavad Gita explains it. Here is a picture of where they say that all meat eaters will reincarnate as the animals that they eat and will be slaughtered by the animals and eaten by the animals that they eat. Here it says, animal killers do not know that in the future the animal will have a body suitable to kill them. That is the law of nature. So what I'm saying is I'm urging all meat eaters to rethink this disgusting habit. It's putrid.
It is a habit. Yeah.
It's addictions. Yeah.
It's traditions as well. It's because they have it at Christmas time, the turkey, or Thanksgiving, or the Australians with their lamb, where they had a new ad or something for the lamb.
Ugh.
And because everybody's so programmed, they think they have to live out these programs and these traditions, and if they're not, like, they're a bad person. And thou shalt not kill. I mean, we should talk about Christians. I mean, they don't exactly teach people to not eat meat, do they, in the church? So people are really they're just lost. They don't know that this is happening to them, that they're not going to ascend, even if they're going to church every Sunday.
That's right.
Crazy.
The churches are involved in this because the churches are so degraded and so lying that they teach people these demonic practices of eating the rotten corpses of sentient beings called animals who don't have speech. They have voice, but they don't have speech. Therefore, since they cannot intelligibly understand the screams of animals when they are being slaughtered, and have a look at the word slaughter, by the way. They like to use these nice clinical, cool, calming words to sort of downgrade their crimes. Slaughter, when you take the S off slaughter, you're left with laughter. And
Yeah.
the universe is laughing at you because it's not slaughter, it is murder. Murder. You are murderous. Whoever you are, whether you eat a prawn, a chicken wing, a pig's bum, you know, you're bacon and eggs for breakfast, that's all you're eating, pig's bums, and you are what you eat. So you eat pig's bums, you are a swine ass. And,
Yeah.
and so I don't accept this word slaughter, killing and everything. Murder. You are murderous.
No, it's murder.
Absolutely. Even
It's
if you're
murder,
not the one that does it by your own hands. I mean, you're too much of a coward or too lazy to go do it yourself, because I guarantee you, if you had to be the one to go out there and get that blood on your hands, you would really rethink your life. So.
Yeah, but because they see it all in supermarkets, it's like, ooh. And the supermarkets do such a good job at making it. I mean, they do
convenient
offers on meat, and then the meat doesn't always go, and it's all at the front of the store. I don't know what it's like in the US and Australia, but all the meat is at the front of the store, and it's like what they're trying to say, these supermarkets, is it's a necessity, it's essential. You know.
Yep. So as for these people who are so clever that they downgrade their crimes by clever use of sophisticated words which, you know, alleviate their guilt, because if you think about it, you're a carcass cruncher, you're biting into death and absorbing death into your body, polluting the bloodstream, polluting the mind with animal consciousness. How can you ascend if you have animal parts in your body? You're floating around in your brain.
You can't.
Blood flowing.
Yeah.
You cannot. And how can you be?
No.
See, I say to people, some people write to me and say, "Oh, can I trust this guy who is teaching the truth and so forth?" I say to them, just ask one question: do they eat meat? Anyone out there who's calling themselves a truther, who is eating, they are not truthers. They are half truthers. In other words, they are liars. You can only trust a vegetarian. You cannot trust a meat eater. They are liars. All meat eaters are liars. Nothing but lies come from their mouths. So for all the truthers out there that eat meat and you think you're a truther, you are a buffoon, a murderer, and you're not ascending, you're not teaching truth, you're teaching a crock of shit. Get off, shut your gob, go out and do 7 years of vegetarian before you even come back to the internet and talk any truth at all, you barbecuing, carcass-crunching idiot morons. Sorry to be so brutal, but it's your life that's at risk, not mine. And besides, have a look at how ugly meat eaters look. Don't they just look ugly? Only vegans look good. They're good-looking people. The humanity comes out of their eyes. Their eyes glow with human love, and their heart shines through their eyes.
It really does. And that's actually, Santos, I've noticed that about vegans and people who are enlightened, is that they really have beautiful, big, shiny eyes, and they look hydrated. Their skin looks well hydrated. They just look, and their hair shines. It's because they're not eating death. They're not eating this negative energy. So they're full of love and beautiful energies. And you can tell straight away when somebody's like that. I certainly can, from quite far away, actually.
The purity of the soul inside shines through the body, and it can turn anybody from, like, I guess you could, if you're going to rate somebody, from like a 5 to like a 9, just because the inner beauty, you know, it just takes over the entire being.
It does. And people in the street, they turn and look at you because you're so vibrant, because you've got so much beautiful life in you. You know, you've got so much light in your cells. Your cells are not coated in death and horrible, putrid stuff, you know.
Yeah, you can see them from miles away, vegans. They're just good looking. The humanity's coming through. It comes through the pores of the skin, and you can just tell that they are settled and they're not murderers anymore. You will never, ever see a vegetarian in any of the mercenary armies of Blackwater and Halliburton and all of these killing organizations in the world today. None of those guys out there in the wars today are vegetarian, guys. None of them. Not a one.
No,
There's never been one vegetarian join an army in history, period. Because killing begets killing. Murdering begets murdering. And if we're going to stop murdering in our wars, we have to stop murdering in our homes. Why is it that we are so goddamn stupid that we can butcher cows and pigs and stuff them in our fridges when we've got pets like dogs and cats? We spend thousands of dollars fixing their little, oh, my cats, I've got to take him to the vet, $1,000 bill. Why? This is what I say to meat eaters. Why don't you get your dog, get a nice sharp knife, grab it by the ears, slice its head off, slice parts of its body, put it on the barbecue, and invite your friends over and have some dog. Why don't you? Go and have some dog, because that's what Bhagavad Gita calls meat eaters. There's only one name for them: dog eaters. Now, I don't like that word because I think dogs are so loyal and so beautiful. I like to call them swine eaters. In fact, in all my work, meat eaters are just swine eaters because they act like swine. And even that, I mean, pigs are beautiful animals, but just to get the point across, dog eater, swine eater, it's just not worth it. You will perish in perdition, probably for all of eternity, just for this gross, murderous, disgusting, vile habit. When we have plenty of fruits, there's bananas to no end, apples, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits. You can stuff yourself like a glutton with all the good things that the earth has to provide.
Avocados.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yes.
Avocados are amazing.
I love them. I just wanted to add on to what you guys were saying about meat eaters. I personally, from observing and just, I guess, meditating on this, I really don't like to, I don't know the word I'm trying to use, but I look at vegetarians right up there with meat eaters, because if they're participating in cheese and eggs and dairy, those animals are still being used to death for their milk, and then are just going to be slaughtered for meat whenever they cannot produce any more milk. So I truly just do not condone vegetarianism at all, unless you have a cow on your farm and you're doing it yourself. Like, if you're going to do that, that's great. But I mean, you're also eating chicken, period. I mean, that's disgusting. Like, you're eating a chicken, period. So I don't, and like, I just have a neighbor, or a roommate technically, who is just living off of cheese and milk, and it just, you can tell he's no different than a meat eater mentally to me. Like, it just shows completely. So that was just my take on that.
Well, chickens don't actually lay that many eggs, and if you look, like when they're like in battery farms, they make them produce loads of eggs. And if you go to any chicken in nature and try and take one of their eggs, they get really agitated by you, like they try and attack you. And
no, I've experienced that. I've gone to a farm. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when they say I got them from the next door neighbor, they're still stealing their eggs. They're still taking their babies, because those eggs would have turned into chicks.
They do not like that. I've experienced that, because this was whenever I was trying vegetarian. Well, I was vegetarian, but I was eating eggs, and that was the only thing I would eat. I didn't eat cheese or milk. I never liked milk. I didn't really like cheese that much. And so I went to a friend's farm, and he was like, "Yeah, I have a bunch of eggs," and that hen was so pissed, and I just felt really guilty. I mean, I felt really bad for doing that.
Yeah. Because they feel that they feel it, that's their babies, and so many people would go, "Oh, but they're just animals." I can't stand people that have that attitude. I can't stand it. Yeah.
Well, Kimmy, girls, I'm going to in time, I'm going to be reading from all the great philosophers and all the great transcendental books showing that you cannot use that reasoning. You cannot say, oh, they're just animals.
No,
if you say
you
that,
can't.
that shows great stupidity and unconsciousness, because animals are intelligent and they have feelings and they have love and they have reason, and they are even logical. Animals they have all the attributes that humans have, except for that two-way consciousness, self-conscious aspect, which make humans special. But apart from that, they are our brothers, and we should not ever put any burdens on any animals whatsoever, nor should we be stealing their products unless those animals, as they do in India, are loved and they have an excess of, say, milk or something like that. That is acceptable in the scriptures. That's the only reason why I have honey, because I know that it is acceptable to be able to get from the abundance of what the animals produce. This is a provision, you see, because the Creator does not give us things. The Creator provides things.
Yeah.
And so it's up to us to be intelligent enough to take a small portion of what is provided. This is what agriculture and big business has failed to understand. They steal everything from the cows. So, for instance, here in Australia, the cows are artificially inseminated so that they always have calves, so that they will always constantly have milk.
Right.
And these cows die at a quarter of their lifespan because they are always constantly making babies and producing milk, and they are murdered. So in our Western, very, very clever culture, we actually take everything from the cow. You know, I mean, what don't humans eat? They eat the heart of the cow. They have the bones and give it to their dogs. They eat the testicles, or they have bull's testicles in their restaurants. So how clever. Cuisine. And they
what?
And they eat.
It's so bad.
It is insanity. So
yeah,
this is where the scriptures allow us to share with the animals in giving them and taking some of the things that they provide, as long as you do not, you always take a 10th part. You do not take 9/10 or 10/10 as they do in our greedy, corporate, capitalistic business mentality culture that we have. This is pure insanity, and you wonder why the world is in such a mess. It all starts with the way we treat animals. We have to forgive the animals and turn around and love the animals.
It's our relationship towards anything in our surroundings. I think not just animals, it's plants and the trees, and the way we recognize them as not separate to us, but if you know, they are us actually. If you want really, what I think is that they're actually part of us, and if we're killing them and we're hurting them, I mean, like Santos is saying about cows, like you're saying, Santos, about cows and what they use for cows. They use everything for cows: leather, milk,
everything.
Yeah, everything. And they're going to get some, you know, they're going to get their comeback, I'm sure.
I just think it's really ironic that it's given the title the most holiest of animals, and they are treating it like worse than any animal on the face of the planet. If you really, isn't that ironic? Like,
have you seen the fear in their eyes when they don't, like I say to people, I say, do you think that cow would walk into a slaughter stand or a murder stand or run in a field free and eat the grass? What do you think they would do? And it's a simple question, and it basically answers itself. But people have all these ideas that, oh, it's a cow, you know, it's just a cow. It's ridiculous.
Oh yes, we're just going to clinically slaughter the cow for the benefit of our stomachs. It's something that we do in civilization. No, you're murdering the cow. You're putting the murder and the bloodshed and the guilt on your own head, and you will perish in perdition in horrible places after your body has ceased to exist on this plane, and the spirit goes off to other planes, and you will go off to horrible, horrible places. There's just no way around this. There's no way around this. And when you look at it, have a think about this, girls. Here we are putting animals in cages and fences and giving them all sorts of shitty food so that, you know, we can fatten them up. You know, in France, the geese there, they have a hose attached to their mouths constantly from the moment they're born, and they're pumped with food so that they can be really, really fat, and so that their livers will expand to the size of a watermelon, so that the French can have pate. Well, because we have pate in our restaurants, we are so cultured. Well,
yeah,
this is nothing but disgusting. And then people wonder, oh, and they hate the controllers that are parasiting off us, and we're paying taxes all the time, and we're paying all kinds of rates and exorbitant tolls and all kinds of fees that we have to pay to live on this planet. Well, if you don't want controllers to parasite off you, I say to meat eaters, you need to stop parasiting off animals, because as you treat animals, so the controllers will treat you, and they will forever harvest your energy, and they will always zap you and bring you into their courts and make you pay and pay and pay for everything, and they will forever send you to wars and kill your brothers in foreign lands, and they will forever channel your energy and sap it off you and zap you of your energy because of the way you unconsciously treat animals.
That's a great point, Santos. Oh my God. My dad is always complaining about all of the taxes he has to pay as a small business owner. He's just always griping and complaining. And you just put that together for me completely. I'm just like, yeah, well, why don't you put down the beef jerky? Why don't you stop eating bacon? Why don't you do this? You know, nobody wants to have that responsibility and take back their mind. Like, think about it.
Yeah, I urge people to reclaim their minds. Have a human mind. The moment you put any flesh of an animal in your beautiful human body, you will pollute your mind. And this is what is polluting people, so that they cannot see, they cannot think. Their eyes are half open, and their mind is only partially working, and their body is polluted and acidic. Let me share with you one of the greatest writers of all time, Ovid, from 2,000 years ago. Caesar Augustus